Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more. Distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entering entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entering entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you." Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then where thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mane of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door. Perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. Perched, and sat, and nothing more. Then, this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be short and shaven, thou," I said, "art surely no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on this night's plutonium shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though this answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on that placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarce more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me as my hopes have flown before." Then the bird said, "Nevermore." Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, "Doubtless," said I, "what it utters is only shock and sure, caught from some unhappy master whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster till his song unburdened bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking I betook myself to linking, fancy unto fancy thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim ungainly ghast gaunt and ominous bird of yore, meant in croaking, nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushioned velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall pass, nevermore. Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by Seraphim whose footfalls tinkered on the tufted floor. "Wretch!" I cried, "thy God hath lent thee! By these angels he hath sent thee! Respite! Respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore! Quaffed! Oh, quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore!" Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." "Prophet," said I, "thing of evil! Prophet still if bird or devil! Whether tempest sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore! Desolate yet all undaunted on this desert land enchanted! On this home by horror haunted, tell me truly I implore! Is there balm in Gilead? Tell me I implore!" Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." "Prophet," said I, "thing of evil! Prophet still if bird or devil! By the heavens that bend above us, by that God we both adore! Tell this soul with sorrow laden if within the distant Aden, it shall clasp a sainted maiden who the angels named Lenore! Clasp a rare and radiant maiden who the angels named Lenore!" Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." "Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend!" I shrieked up starting. "Get thee back into the tempest and the night's plutonium shore! Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul has spoken! Leave my loneliness unbroken! Quit the bus above my door! Take thy beak from out thy heart, and take thy form from off my door!" Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, on that pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of the demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.